This Independence Day weekend, kick your party off with a bang. DeWeather Center presents the first annual DeWeather Cares Charity Softball Classic presented by the National Racing Network. The Palmerton Boobies, DeWeather Center Bluecocks, Blue Mountain I-95ers, Pocono Front Platers, Schuylkill County Crackers, Reading Nurses, Catasauqua Blue Tits, and Beltsville Lake Monsters will take the field in Emerald. Find out more on Facebook at DeWeather Center. DeWeather Center, offensively accurate. If there's one thing every car guy hates, it's cleaning the garage. Do you want to take most of the time and hassle out of that job? Then call Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Agnes and her crew will have your garage, shop, basement, or even your porch looking great all the time. With unique patterns and designs, plus the ability to incorporate your logo or any artwork, your space will never have looked better. Installation is done in 1 day, guaranteed, and Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another National Racing Network presentation. This time, it's the Carolina SimWorks TNT PM18 All Oval Series coming your way from beautiful Richmond Raceway. Henry County, Virginia will be the host tonight. My name is Chris Graham with the National Racing Network. Tell you a little bit about the race course here at Richmond. Originally built in 1946, saw a major configuration change following the spring NASCAR event in 1988 to a 3/4 mile D-shaped oval, 14 degrees of banking in the corners. This is round number 7 of the championship. 50 minutes is the race distance tonight. Cautions are single file. Cautions are called by iRacing. Restarts are single file. Lap cars will head to the back of the pack. Something you, as always, have to keep an eye on here with the TNT series is pit strategy. Fuel window is going to be anywhere from 55 to 65 laps. It's going to take you about 5.5 to 6.5 seconds to fill the car full of fuel. They do have unlimited tires. You may not necessarily take tires at every opportunity, though, because tire wear is fairly limited here. A little bit of a shorter field than what we're used to seeing here in the TNT series. Practice just wrapping up here. Jason Owens, no surprise, going to be at the top of the charts. Take a look here. First car going to make his way out onto the racetrack for qualifications is Kevin Smalley. You could hear him really wind the car up hard on the brakes, wind it up, get hard on the brakes in turn 1 on that pit exit road. Doing everything possible to get as much heat build up into the tires as possible. I want to remind everybody, let us know in the comments where you're watching from here tonight.
Love to get your feedback on the racing. As we mentioned, this is with a little bit shorter field and, quite frankly, the talent that's in the field here tonight. Not a lot of room for error here. As Smalley completes his qualification run, he'll be at the top of the charts, 19.91 seconds. Connor Baldwin just wrapping up his qualification run. He'll move second quick, 20.22. Wes Shire moves to second on the speed charts in the Homestead Coffee Roasters, number 16. 20.02 seconds, the quick time for Wes Shire. Making his way off of turn number 4, James Watson, the number 39 NRN sponsored machine. Manufactured by Tatus. These are all Mazda-designed 2-liter engines. Oh, big tag slapper. What a save, James Watson. Doesn't hit anything. May have flat spotted the tires a little bit. We'll see how that car is going to behave here on lap number 2. .72 seconds the first lap for James Watson, obviously owing to the spin down the back straightaway. Lap number 2 will be better. Moves up to third quick on the speed charts, 20.19 seconds. We get Jason Owens in the Extra Life Riley Children's Foundation, number 87. Owens, your point leader by a pretty solid margin over Wes Shire. Kevin Smalley currently running third in points. James Curtis, James Watson rounding out the top 5. Also, Matt Galida and Mike Barry yet to make a qualification run. Owens going to be third quick, 20.08 seconds. Lap number 2 was in the books. New quick time, 19.85. 19.85 seconds for Jason Owens. He's going to be absolutely thrilled with that lap. Matt Galida making his way off of turn number 2. 1 lap in the books, 20.51 seconds for our friend from the Great White North. Off of turn number 4. See what lap's going to look like from here. Matt Galida up to 20.15 seconds, fourth quick. Good run there for McKenzie. Let's bring in our provisional pole sitter anyway, as we're down to the last 40 seconds or so. Jason Owens, heck of a lap there at 19.85 seconds. The car must have felt pretty darn good.
It did on the second lap. It almost got away from me in turn 2 over that little hump on the first lap. So happy I was still able to get a good lap in, and thankful we put her on the pole here. And I think we're going to have an interesting race tonight. Should be fun.
Yeah, this one I think is going to be a pretty darn good one here. A little bit shorter field, but sometimes that makes for a little bit more intensity when you know you're not going to have lap traffic to help you out.
Totally. It did. If everybody keeps it clean, too, we're going to have a barn burner.
All right, thank you very much, Jason. Congratulations on your quick time, and getting ready to grid them up here at the Richmond Raceway. Here is your starting grid for tonight's race. 13 cars will make up the starting grid tonight, led by Jason Owens and Kevin Smalley. They will lead the field to the green. Wes Shire and Matt Galida will occupy row number 2. James Watson, Connor Baldwin in row number 3. Simon Fell, Cullen Johnston in row 4. Ben Carswell and Rick Cleary in row number 5. Mike Gosler, Jake Guerreri in row number 6. All alone in row 7 will be Mike Barry, who did not take time. Well, he was able to get in to the field now, so Looks like Mike Barry will be a did not start here tonight. Jason Owens starting to pull off behind the pace car. Everybody else the pull off here as James Watson goes right into your living room. As we mentioned, 50 minutes is the distance on this one here tonight. Keep your eye out for those pit stops, anywhere from lap 55 to lap 56. The information that we were hearing says it's a 50-lap run, so a full fuel stop and a half. If you get 3 yellows and some saving, maybe 4 yellows, you can maybe make it in one stop. But the reality of things here tonight is that we're basically looking at a almost mandatory 2-stop race here, because if you get a little bit of attrition early on, that's really when you're going to start to push things into the longer green flag runs. Jason Owens, Kevin Smalley leading the field off of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Looking forward to a fantastic 50 minutes of racing. Ryan Sellers picked up the win in race number 1 of our Tuesday night doubleheader with the iRacing Sprint Car Cup. We will know in 50 short minutes who the winner of race 2 will be. Green flags in the air. We're underway here at Richmond. One lap already in the books. Jason Owens by half a second over Kevin Smalley, another half second back to Wes Shire. In the 3rd position, he's going to have James Watson within about a car length and a half as they come down the front D-shaped part of this oval. One of the unique things about Richmond, it's kind of an, oh, Jason Owens going to loop it off at turn 2. Caution flag is out. Trouble for race leader Jason Owens. Get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. See what happened to that number 87. Just a little bit loose on corner exit. Tries to correct the tank slapper. Nothing he could do. Oh, and nowhere for Matt Galida to go. Absolutely drills the 87. Show you that one from the onboard here. From Matt Galida. When you see how heavy the smoke is, tough break there for Matt Galida and Jason Owens. Both of those cars will have to head to the pit area. Connor Baldwin waiting at the start-finish line. Got a little bit ahead of everybody here, so he'll slot back in line, wait for everybody to come around. See if we can get a word in here with Jason Owens. And unfortunately, Jason, looked like that bump off of turn number 2 caught you out there early on in the run.
Yeah, just cold tires and trying to push a little too hard, and caught me out. And I locked it down and hoped everybody would get around me, and I think almost everybody did. So
Yeah,
totally my fault.
Yeah, it was the last car in line that got to you, but it's kind of now, I guess, a game of where do you go from here. Still a long way to go in this race, even with the repairs getting done.
Yeah, I'm still towing, so I got to see what the damage looks like. I'm guessing about 8 to 10 minutes, but I'm going to get it repaired and get back out and try and salvage every point I can.
All right, there you go. Tough break. Jason Owens out of the infield care center. See if we can't get a word in here with Mac Galida. Mac, what happened there late in the run?
Just late in the run, there was an incident on the track and got caught up in it.
Yeah, it looked like one of those that was going to be tough to see one way or the other, but I would imagine still towing at this point. You'll kind of assess the damage from there.
Yeah, I got a lot of repairs to complete, so we'll see what happens.
All right, there you go. There's Mac Galida, the other one involved in that incident. But now we've got a fantastic duel that's going to battle here because we're coming to green. Kevin Smalley will lead the field down. Now going to be Wes Shire, James Watson, your top three. Connor Baldwin up to fourth. He was going to be in the broadcast booth with us until about 10 minutes to race time as Shire looks to the inside of Smalley. James Watson going to be right on the rear wing of the Homestead Coffee Roasters, number 16. Watson now going to slide outside. Oh, and he's going to spin. Trouble for James Watson down the back straightaway. Doesn't look like anybody made contact with him, but that's going to put us under our second caution flag of the evening. Take a look at the weather here. 80 degrees is the ambient, 81 the track temperature. So the track is hot. That will make it slick. Not a lot of grip available for these cars out here tonight. See if we can get a quick word here with James Watson. And James, a heck of a save in catching that spin, but looks like the hot track temps are catching everybody out here maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed Connor right behind me a little too late, and I got a little spooked and lost it because I was too busy on trying to set up a move to kind of put myself in the lead and just lift the tires up a little much. But it doesn't seem like I got any damage. I should be good to go for the rest of the race. Got out. I've got like 30 seconds of required. That's lovely.
So at this point now, you're kind of looking at.
So yeah,
I say take your repairs here. Not a ton, but the important thing is it's a short field. You're still in 10th position.
yeah, but I want to win. Although I may be able to get out in time. Yeah, I may be okay here.
I was going to say that's going to be the big one here as we see the parking lot developing on pit road. So good luck to you the rest of the way, James. Thanks for chatting with us. Pick up your race leader, Kevin Smalley, as he works down the front straightaway, 6.5 minutes into this 50-lap race. This will extend the fuel range a fair bit here. James Watson making his first stop at lap number 10. It's not going to make a huge difference with the amount of caution flags that we've had. However, we are getting close now to that 3 to 4 cautions number. Things really could start to change. See, we're going to go at least one more lap under the caution flag here. See, we can't get a quick word with Wes Shire running in the second position. And Wes, it seems like this is the race that nobody wants to lead. What are your thoughts here on the conditions and how tough is it?
Yeah, this is going to be a race to survival by the looks of things. I'm just hoping I can keep it pointed in the right direction and Homestead coffee side up.
Yes, don't spill any of that glorious rocket fuel you had in that car 1 week ago. So good luck the rest of the way here, bud. Thanks for chatting with us. There you go. There's Wes Shire. Yes, that Homestead coffee machine was very, very quick 1 week ago. Lights are out, and we'll be coming back to Green Flag Racing this next time by. Last week at the Legacy Phoenix Raceway. James Curtis, Kevin Smalley, Jason Owens, Wes Shire, James Watson. Your top five. Curtis not entered in the race tonight as we go back to Green Flag Racing. Smalley trying to improve one position. Kind of interesting. We talked about the fact that we were thinking we might see a race with fewer caution flags here just by the nature of the short field, but not exactly playing out that way. Connor Baldwin starting to make some hay here with the 16 of Wes Shire. DXS Baldwin Agriland, number 19 of Connor Baldwin. We were mentioning that he was going to be on the production side of things tonight here until about 10 minutes before the race was scheduled to start. Decided to jump in. Making the most of it, that's for sure. Three-wide battle back here in the pack. James Watson, Cullen Johnston, Rick Cleary. This is the fight for 8th. Watson up 2 spots since the restart. Wes Shire just set the fastest lap of the race, 20.05 seconds. Gaining a little bit of ground on Kevin Smalley. Kind of two distinct groups that are opening up here. Smalley, Shire, Baldwin, and Simon Fell, your top 4. Then you go back about a second and a half, and we find Ben Carswell piloting the number 48 machine. New IndyCar reporter for the National Racing Network. Head on over to our website, nationalracingnetwork.com. You can check out all of Ben's work covering the NTT IndyCar Series this season. Carswell's going to have Mike Gosselaar, Jake Querreri, and James Watson all lined up right behind him. Watson looking inside of Querreri off of turn number 2. Has to fall in line down the back straightaway. Nice pass by Gosselaar to the inside of Carswell. Through turns 3 and 4. Carswell kept the momentum up. Through the corner, though, running a little bit higher line than everybody else. Sort of diamonds the corner off on exit. Watson going to look to the inside of Jake Querreri. Querreri gives him plenty of room off the corner. Such a dangerous move down there to the inside when you're never totally confident that that outside car isn't going to break traction. And if he spins, it's going to be coming down into your right rear corner. Watson able to complete the pass. Querreri dives back down to the inside into turn number 1. Watson having to take a little bit of an evasive maneuver on corner entry. Querreri thought about it going again. Big old bizzle there out of James Watson. Jason Owens and Matt Galida both back on the racetrack. About 20 laps down apiece. This group of four is the tightest battle on the racetrack right now as we hit 13 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock. Kevin Smalley out to a 8/10 of a second lead over West Shire. Watson gets to the inside of Carswell through 3 and 4. Going to bring Jake Guerreri with them down the front straightaway. Guerreri and Carswell will continue that fight down the backstretch and into 3. Gap is shrinking at the front of the field. Shire has it down to about 3/4 of a second now as they're catching up on 11th place running Matt Galida. Put the number 5 machine another lap down. Galida having that damage in the very early incident with Jason Owens. Mike Gosler, James Watson going to go side by side through 3 and 4. Gosler, the discretion, the better part of valor for sure there, being up and out of the way of James Watson. Carswell and Guerreri will continue this fight. Oh, man, what a save by Jake Guerreri. Huge tank slapper off of turn 2. But he's going to lose a little bit of ground there to Ben Carswell. See what James Watson's able to do with a little bit of clear racetrack ahead of him now. Last several laps, he's been about 3/10 slower. His caution flag is back on the speedway. Trouble once again for Jason Owens. Get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Yeah, just another kind of lazy self-spin through turn 2. He takes the tow back to the pit area. But unfortunately, that may be night over for Jason Owens. And this is what James Watson wanted to see in a pretty big way. Working lap number 34, leaders all making their way down pit road. That will include James Watson as well. So stopping here at lap number 34 is going to get you to lap 98 with our third caution flag of the race. This one is going to be, I don't think they'll be able to make it on just one more stop here. We'll have to see how the fuel loads played out. That was full service for everybody here. A couple of cars electing not to come down pit road. One of those was Cullen Johnston. He stayed out to lead the lap. Labatt Blue at number 93 making his way down pit road. The other car that didn't pit is Rick Cleary in the number 25. He stopped on lap number 13. So he'll be able to go potentially as deep as lap 80 or so. The new race leader at the front of the field, the 25 of Rick Cleary. Snap-on tools on the side of that machine. Connor Baldwin electing to come back into the pit area. Stopped one lap ago. Wonder if there is not a penalty that needs to be served here. for the Delaria Extreme Series, Baldwin Agriland, number 19. That or he's just going to try to pack the thing full of fuel. Hits his marks. Car goes up in the air. Baldwin down and away, 11.7 seconds. The time for the stop there. See if we can get a quick word with Connor here. Connor, saw you make a couple of pit stops there. What was the thought process on that one?
So, while I was trying to get off pit road very fast, because there's very close between me and Wes that are coming off pit lane, I had forgotten how close the pit exit cone is to the pit boxes. So I ran over one of the pit exit cones, and I had to go back and make sure that got taken off, so I didn't take anybody else here when we go back to green.
All right, bud. Well, tough break for you there, but still a lot of time to catch back up. That's for sure.
Yep.
And there you go. There's Connor Baldwin as Rick Cleary is making his way off a pit road. Lights are out on the iRacing safety car, so we'll be going back to green flag racing. Baldwin stopping on lap 36. Green flag is back in the air, approaching the halfway point here. Simon Fell way to the outside in turns 1 and 2. Mike Gosler trying to capitalize on it. Not quite close enough. James Watson making the pass quickly on the restart to get himself back inside a podium position. Almost like we've done a full race reset here in some respects, with the exception of pole sitter Jason Owens, who is now out of the race. He will finish in the 12th position. Mike Barry, did not start. Oh, trouble back in the pack. Ben Carswell going to loop it around. Stays on the infield grass. We should stay green for this. If you get it on the grass, you will not bring out a caution flag, and it does not. So we stay green. Pick up the fight here between Jake Ferrari and Connor Baldwin. That's the fight for the 6th position. Mike Gosler just up ahead of them. Starting to catch in on Baldwin, a little bit low on corner exit. That's really one of the spots where you can really get the back end of the car tail happy on corner exit. Approaching the 22-minute mark here from Richmond Raceway. You're watching the Carolina Simworks TNT Series here on the National Racing Network. My name is Chris Graham. It's a pleasure to have you with us this evening. Give us a shout in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. If you like what we're doing, give the video a like and a share. Let everybody else know that you are tuned in. Here to NRN. .22 minutes, 50 seconds in the books. Kevin Smalley, your race leader, by 1.6 seconds over West Shire. You almost wonder if we're not in pretty heavy fuel save mode already here. James Watson runs in the 3rd position. Nice recovery there from Watson. Trouble on the racetrack for Rick Cleary. Get you a hot shoe race for instant replay. See what happened here to Cleary. Oh, he made contact with Matt Galida. Spun the car around. Down to the inside. We stay under green flag conditions. Based on the fact that we saw some blinking out of Matt Galida, that may have been a netcode issue that caught out Rick Cleary. Connor Baldwin going to look to the inside of Simon Fell through 3 and 4. Seeing trouble on the racetrack also for Jake Guerreri. Get you a look here, see what happened to the 311 machine. Inside of Mike Gosler, oh, a little bit of contact. Gosler may have made contact with the outside wall. Guerreri's going to back it up, get it rolling again. Rick Guerreri going to lose a ton of time off of turn number 4. In fact, he's going to lose a lap as a result of that as race leader Kevin Smalley getting caught up with Guerreri here down the backstretch and into turn number 3. We're able to put up a pretty good fight here with race leader Kevin Smalley. Smalley finally able to clear the 311 machine off of 2 and down the back straightaway. Next up on the list will be Wes Shire in the number 16. That red and white paint scheme, absolutely stunning. Seeing Ben Carswell exited the pit area after completing repairs, very quickly took the tow back in as well. So the night looks like it will be over for Ben Carswell in the 10th position. Matt Galida, Jason Owens out of the race as well, but still on the pit lane. James Watson running in the 3rd position. No missing that yellow, pink, and white machine out on the racetrack. Just back behind Watson is Connor Baldwin, the DXS. Baldwin Agriland, number 19. The Dallara Extreme Series just wrapping up their first season. James Watson actually picking up the championship in the DXS Series. Team Watson Racing claiming the overall team's title as well. They'll kick off season number 2 here, coming up at the end of the month of June, utilizing the Dallara IR01, the iRacing 01. A V10 powered car revving upwards of 20,000 RPM. Running an all oval series. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's going to be all short tracks, or mostly short tracks this season. Won't want to miss that one. We will have several of those races here on the National Racing Network. Running in the 5th position right now is Simon Bell in the 256. As we are just past the halfway point. Fell currently sitting at 6th in the season-long point standings, but With Jason Owens having what amounts to a terrible night and James Curtis not being entered in the race, we are set for a huge shakeup in the points for those drivers that can finish up towards the front of the field. Currently running in 6th, the Atlas Van Line special of Mike Gosler. Gosler 14 seconds behind the race leader. He's actually going to be the next car to go one lap down. Race leader Kevin Smalley about the midpoint of the front stretch as Gosler's in the middle of 1 and 2. Looks like Ben Carswell able to get back out on the racetrack. Picking up as many points as he possibly can here. Rick Cleary also just getting out onto the racetrack. Still 7 cars on the lead lap. And it looks like only the cars of Cullen Johnston, Jason Owens, and Matt Galida will be the cars that are out of the race at this point. Pick back up this fight between Connor Baldwin and Simon Fell. See the comment coming in from Patrick Byrne asking, what's the distance between Shire and Smalley? I didn't get you the gaps up here on the screen. The lead currently about 2.6 seconds for Kevin Smalley over Wes Shire. The really interesting point of this to me is where the fuel saving is coming into play here. Is West Shire saving a ton of fuel at this point? Race leader Kevin Smalley turning laps 19.8. West Shire just went 19.9, but he's been in the 20-second range or so, as is James Watson as well. In fact, everybody but race leader Kevin Smalley in second place running West Shire down in the 20-second range. Smalley comes around the car of Mike Gosler to put 6th place 1 lap down. 5th place still has more than half a track to go before Simon Fell would go a lap down, so we'll slide back here, pick up that fight. It's the closest one on the racetrack. About a half second, a little less than actually, for Baldwin over Fell as they work off of turn number 2. 31 minutes, 30 seconds in the books. Working lap number 75 right now. Race leaders still have about 25 or so laps remaining before they're going to have to come in for a second pit stop. We have had fewer caution flags here in this second stint of the race than we had early on. So the lap count should be pretty close here on when the leaders are going to have to come down pit road. Oh, Connor Baldwin loses it off of turn number 2, smacks the inside retaining wall. He's going to back it up, try to get the car pointed in the right direction again, but absolute heartbreaker for Connor Baldwin, having a fantastic run in the DXS machine. Get you a Hot Shoe Raceware instant replay. See what happened. Do the number 19 off of turn number 2. Just clip the outside retaining wall. Pounds the inside wall. Knocks the right rear off it, and that's one of your big drive wheels. Baldwin's still trying to nurse this car back, but he's going to have to take the toe in. Tough break there for Connor Baldwin. He'll have a pretty significant amount of repair time on that car as well. So, going to put us down now to 4 cars on the lead lap. Seeing our buddy Patrick Byrne checking in, saying Shire closing over a second over the last 2 minutes. Yeah, Shire's starting to close the gap down here. Down to about 2.1 seconds as we hit 34 minutes on the charts. You almost wonder here, is Smalley going into fuel save mode as well? And the gaps are pretty kind of ridiculous at this point. Smalley with a 2.2 second lead over West Shire. Go another 7 seconds back to James Watson. Simon Fell starting to close in on the 39. Connor Baldwin, big smooth move of the race. You know what? Maybe that was kind of a push into the outside retaining wall, whereas Jason Owens had his issue out of the race lead basically on lap 2, lap 3 maybe. However, his was kind of a cold tires hitting the bump. A little bit surprising there. I don't know if we can give it to Jason here on that one, but Jason Owens now checking in the comments, saying that could be Kevin running the Scott Dixon School of Fuel Saving Strategy with these applicable trademarks at the end of that one. It very well could be. The gap is expanding back out. It's now over 2.3 seconds. The part that's really going to be kind of fascinating to watch play out here is, do they have enough fuel to make it without stopping again? We're inside of 15 minutes to go. That's another 35, almost 40 laps. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, we did get a notification that the beginning part of the race may not have been live. One way or the other, we're going to update a copy of tonight's race to YouTube basically as soon as the race is over, pretty close to as soon as the race is over. If you want to see everything from the beginning, make sure you head on over to the National Racing Network Facebook page. The gap's still at 2.3 seconds for Kevin Smalley over West Shire. James Watson stretching his lead over Simon Fell for the final podium spot. Watson still about a tenth of a second slower here than Wes Shire. Here comes, there's your answer. Wes Shire coming in, as is Kevin Smalley. Cannot make a mistake. You have to execute perfectly on this final pit stop. Smalley, Shire, Watson, and Fell all on the pit road. Can't be speeding into your box. Looks like Shire and Smalley both can hit the marks cleanly. Smalley down and away, as is Wes Shire. Now you can't get the penalty for screwing up the pit exit. Smalley looks cleanly off the back straightaway. Shire at 2.4 seconds. So Smalley, Shire, Watson, and Fell all making their final pit stops here on lap number 94. So we're going to be down to 10 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in tonight's 50-lap Carolina SimWorks TNT Series race from Richmond Raceway. What we now have pretty much here is a hot lapping competition. Who can execute the fastest laps the fastest way possible? If we've been seeing fuel saving, that's all gone out the window. Show you Wes Shire here as he's going to come around to. He'll be lapping Mike Gosler. Smalley quicker, laps 96 and 97. Shire quicker on lap 94 and lap 95. That includes the lap 95 pit stop as well. But even with the cars coming on and off of pit road, only a 0.2 of a second difference in lap time here for your race leaders. Shire once again just a hair quicker. It may not be enough as we're inside of 10 minutes to go. You can't be making up hundreds at this point if you're Wes Shire. The interesting thing here to look at with those lap times, Shire was 0.2 of a second quicker on the overall lap, so that would include your in-lap and your out-lap. The difference in pit times, Kevin Smalley, 6.82 seconds, 7.3 for Wes Shire, so almost a half second slower in the pit box for Wes Shire versus Kevin Smalley. Simon Fell electing the short fill. 5.93 seconds on the stop as race leader Kevin Smalley goes quick lap time, even working traffic. Fastest overall lap, 19.74 seconds. Shire a 10th back at a 19.82. Last lap by 1995 for Smalley, 1982 again for Wes Shire. The gap is closing. It's down to 1.5 seconds. Shire maybe getting a little bit of drafting help here from Ben Carswell and Cullen Johnston. These PM18s do punch a pretty massive hole in the air. Now Shire to the inside. He'll come around Ben Carswell cleanly and set his sights back on race leader Kevin Smalley. The gap staying now right about 1.5 seconds. As we're approaching 44 minutes on the clock, it'll be 6 minutes remaining. Oh, Shire almost got the outside wall. Didn't look like he made contact, but the lap was definitely slower. 20.4 versus the 1977 for race leader Kevin Smalley. The gap now back over 2 seconds. In fact, climbing up towards 2 tenths. 2 2/10, I should say. James Watson holding on to the 3rd position. 4th and 5th place, Jake Querreri running in 5th, already 1 lap down. Simon Fell very close to going a lap down to race leader Kevin Smalley. That would leave 3 cars on the lead lap of this race as we're down to 5 minutes remaining. That 47 machine is absolutely on rails this evening. Shire losing some ground. The gap staying steady now, right about 2.2 seconds. James Watson now almost 15 seconds back. Not inconceivable that Kevin Smalley could catch James Watson after taking over the race lead after Jason Owens' early spin and win of the big smooth move of the race. Kevin Smalley has been untouchable this evening. We saw Oisin Walsh do this in a race last season, finishing as the only car on the lead lap. That won't happen tonight without an issue for West Shire, but that's about as close as you're going to get. Kevin Smalley has been fantastic this evening. Probably shouldn't say too many nice things about him, as the commentator's curse struck Renus VK having an accident while cycling yesterday, right about the same time I was picking him to win this weekend's NTT IndyCar Series race at Road America. The lead is shrinking down, but it's still at 2 seconds. Finally now just ticking down inside of 1.9. 3 minutes and 45 seconds remain here for Kevin Smalley. I'm going to put lap number 121 up on the scoreboard. Smalley by 2 seconds over West Shire. 14 additional seconds back is James Watson. That's the only 3 cars remaining on the lead lap. Simon Fell, the first car, 1 lap down. Jake Querreri running 2 laps down in the 5th position. Mike Gosler, 6th, being scored 4 laps down. Ben Carswell, Cullen Johnston still on the racetrack. 15 and 22 laps down respectively. Connor Baldwin, Rick Cleary, Matt Galida, Jason Owens, and Mike Barry, all now being scored out of the race. Down to a minute and a half remaining. In fact, inside of a minute and a half to go here for the Carolina SimWorks TNT PM18 All Oval Series. Next week, the TNT Series heads to the Nashville Fairgrounds Raceway. That race is going to be a fun one to watch as well. Is now inside of 1 minute to go for race leader Kevin Smalley. Should see the white flag next time by. Off at turn number 2, once again, Kevin Smalley just clinical in his dissection of this field here tonight. Looks like we're actually going to get one more lap in the books here. Now time has expired. This will be the white flag lap. Smalley off of turn 2, down the back straightaway for the final time. Through 3 and 4, cleanly checkered flag in the air. Dominating win for Kevin Smalley. West Shire going to come home in the second position. 2.5 seconds back. Down the back straightaway still. James Watson spin and come home third. Not a bad run tonight for James Watson. Race winner getting ready to start the victory donuts and celebrations here. Let's show you tonight's final results. Kevin Smalley, the winner by 2.5 seconds over West Shire. James Watson comes home third, almost 19 seconds in arrears. Simon Fell 1 lap down in the 4th position. Jake Guerreri rounds out the top 5, 2 laps in arrears. Mike Gosler, Ben Carswell, Cullen Johnston, Connor Baldwin, and Rick Cleary complete the top 10. Matt Galida, Jason Owens, and Mike Barry will complete tonight's field. Get the replays queued up here, and we'll start things off with our third place finisher tonight, Mr. James Watson. And James, you had a spin, you had a very nice recovery to come home in the 3rd position, and a spectacular points night with some of the issues other guys had around you.
Yeah, it was an interesting one for sure. I'm relieved to get back to where I had been after that spin, but I'm really frustrating because the car was still good, but I don't think it was quite 100% after that. I think I really had something for Kevin and Wes because I was like right on them before that, but I'm thrilled with the podium, thrilled with some good points, not thrilled about losing my bonus points for not having a clean race, but yeah, it was a good race nonetheless, despite my massive screw-up.
Well, you at least are nowhere near being in contention for the big smooth move of the race, even with a self-spin. So I will say it was a pretty good run tonight, and unfortunately, just a little bit of, I don't know if it was damage or what it was. You did mention you had about 30 seconds worth. Ultimately, though, just that little bit can really make all the difference in the world with these cars.
Yeah, I'm just I'm just thanking God that I was able to get those 30 seconds done and able to beat the pace car out, because if I barely lost a lap over something that stupid, I would have thrown myself out my window. So yeah, it was all things considered, really good run. And have you interviewed Connor with him getting the big? I can only assume that Connor got the big smooth move of the race with getting the cone stuck in his suspension.
It's kind of a toss-up at this point between the pole sitter spitting himself out on lap 2 and Connor picking up a pit exit cone. We may have a shared big smooth move of the race here tonight for sure, but all in all, not a bad night for you there, James. Who do you want to thank?
Gotta thank Zach Nicky and ZAS Designs for putting my awesome paint schemes together. Gotta thank you and paying me to throw the NRN logo on my cars. Gotta thank my folks for always tuning in.
And congratulations, an overall iRacing champion as well for Season 2 in the Pro 2 Lights. So congratulations on that one. Looking forward to talking to you again next week. And having you in the booth here as well.
I won 2. I won the Rookie Series and the C-Class Pro 2 Light. I now have 3 overall official iRacing championships, and I still don't know how that's possible.
All right, bud. Well, good on you here. We'll pick up our runner-up finisher tonight here, Wes Shire. And Wes, your car was good. I don't know that anybody was going to be catching Kevin tonight, though.
I was a little too tight kind of everywhere. But if I loosened the car up at all, I was just too loose. So I just had nothing for him.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I think we saw catching drivers out a little bit was how fine the line was between too tight and snap oversteer loose on corner exit.
Yeah, it's pretty much within half a millimeter of ride height, and it was just, if I went over that in the right rear, I was gone. There's nothing I could do. So figured for the race, better play it safe rather than try and hang on to the faster set. And yeah, paid off about as well as I could help. I'll take the points. It's a good week.
I was going to say the point shakeup this week is going to be pretty massive here. Pulling the numbers up as we had them entering tonight's race. You were a little bit of a ways back at Jason Owens, but that has been practically erased with his issues here tonight. So kind of game on now as we get into the home stretch here for Season 2.
Yeah, should be pretty interesting second half of the season here. Let's see, where are we going to next? I think
Nashville. The Nashville Fairgrounds Raceway.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
That'll be fun.
I think we just made Wes's evening, letting him know what's coming up next week. All right, Wes, congratulations on the podium here. Who do you want to thank?
Always got to thank you for doing the broadcast, Jason, for putting this all on, Carolina Simworks for paying the bills, and Homestead Coffee keeping me awake and alert enough to actually hang on to this thing tonight and not hit the wall like I tried to do with about 15 to go.
Yeah, we noticed that one too. That was almost a contender for big smooth move of the race, but you got a couple of guys ahead of you on the list. So congratulations on the podium, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's get our race winner, Kevin Smalley, in here. You were potentially accused of using the Scott Dixon School of Fuel Saving strategy early in this race. I don't know that it would have mattered one lick because that 47 machine was absolutely spectacular tonight.
Yeah, I was thinking about that a little bit because I almost didn't pit under that caution, which would have made things quite interesting indeed. But since we had to make a green flag stop, it still might have worked. I think I could have pulled it off. That would have been a super risky way of going about life, though. No, thrilled with it. I don't think I really put a foot wrong, which is not the way I practiced here. So shame about Jason early on. Gosh, I think that would have been quite a battle between he and I later on. I know for a fact that I had a little bit more downforce than him, so I think I might have been able to follow him and maybe would have gotten his tires to go off at the end, and had quite a battle. But hey, ifs and buts.
Well, yeah, and that little bit extra downforce is probably the difference between him finishing this race up front and you finishing it where you did. So it really was a fantastic night. The car was just absolutely spectacular. The strategy call was good as well. Congratulations on a very big win and a huge shakeup in the point standings here. Who do you want to thank?
Well, I always appreciate you doing a great job broadcasting for us, and of course Jason for organizing everything in the first place. Thanks to all of our league sponsors as well. We really appreciate you all. Thanks a bunch.
There you go. There's Kevin Smalley, your race winner tonight from Richmond Raceway, where I did not see this race coming, at least not what we had late in that race. I'll say it that way. But this one was really pretty spectacular here tonight. Coming up here over the next couple of weeks, get you the upcoming schedule here for the TNT PM18 All Oval Series. We head next week to the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. You heard West Shire getting a little bit giddy with that one, so looking forward to that one. Then we head under the lights to Bristol Motor Speedway. Thunder Valley is spectacular with these PM18 cars side by side for 50 minutes. That place is abject insanity. And then a pack racing draft fest coming up at Iowa Speedway. Whole lot of excitement coming up here for the TNT PM18 All Oval Series presented by Carolina Simworks. And I have to say a huge thank you to them for all of their support of the series here and making our broadcast mediocrity possible. But with that, we're going to wrap up tonight's coverage here from the Richmond Raceway. For everybody here at the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. It's been a pleasure to have you joining us this evening for a really cool doubleheader. Congratulations to Ryan Sellers and Kevin Smalley, your two winners tonight here on NRN. Until Thursday night, no high side hustle tomorrow. We'll be back here on Thursday night. We will talk to you soon, everybody. Have a good night.